Hi there, I'm Rachel Walden, the Arts, Communication, and Technology Career Specialist in the Office of Career and Professional Development. This video will cover step 2 of the 5-step job search strategy guide. You want to start by narrowing your focus with step 2. It's important to go into your search with a plan. The job search really requires intentionality and focus so that you have a plan of organizing your search and really being successful. The most common thing I hear from students when they get started is they get frustrated because they apply for 30 positions and don't hear back. That's not a good strategy. So we want to talk through this job search strategy guide so that you understand how to organize and conduct your search. What is super helpful at the beginning is to create some sort of tracking system. Excel is a great example of something that you can update weekly to keep track of your progress and your follow-up items. So, for example, you might have a spreadsheet for your search with the columns labeled company, contact, current job openings, initial outreach date, follow-up outreach date, and a notes section. This allows you to keep track of which companies you're interested in, what they might have open, who the contact is, which we'll talk about in just a moment, your initial outreach date that you reached out to that contact, and then a follow-up column so that you can add a date for following up a week or two later. And then any notes about why you're interested in that company, maybe how you heard about them, perhaps a faculty member sent you an email that they were hiring or a friend had interned for the company. That's good information to have when you go into the interview. Then you want to identify your target. So once you've got your method of organizing your search, you want to narrow it down to 2 to 3 areas of your field of interest to focus your job search. It's okay to not know exactly what you want to do or exactly what job you'll be in. Most people don't. Most people in the liberal arts don't necessarily, know I'm going to do X, Y, and Z after I graduate. I'm going to be an accountant. So you want to think about what are some things that I might like to do. So for example, maybe you're an English major and you have thought about managing social media for a company, but you're also really interested in maybe being a music journalist. And then public relations might be of interest as well. So those are some things with commonalities, but starting there and then being open in attitude, but focused in your approach is really helpful. So being open to opportunities that could be in different areas, but we're going to start with a more narrow focus so that you have an easier task to pursue. Because what you're going to do is looking at those 2 to 3 areas of focus, you're going to start building a top 10 list. What dream companies would you want to work for? And this might be companies that you have had friends work at. Maybe, you've heard great things about them. It's, you just love TikTok or Google, or, maybe it's a local company like Red Pepper. Start building a list of 10 companies that you think would be really cool to work for. Thinking about which companies align with your values and interests. I think a lot of students, and I experienced this as a student, really just considered what is the job that I will be doing. But it's so important to really align with a company culture and feel like it would be a good fit and get along with the people that you're working for. So doing that research on the front end can be really helpful in avoiding ending up working for a company that's really not a good fit for you. Then you want to add to your tracking spreadsheet the top companies that you have identified. And then you're going to start doing some additional research on those companies before you even apply or reach out. Next, you want to identify some target contacts. So these would be people like alumni or any peers that have interned for the company. Maybe a faculty member, can help you identify them. One of your career specialists. So each of the career specialists work closely in the industries in which their students want to go and work to build those relationships. Maybe it's a family member, a friend. You might identify some contacts on LinkedIn or a company website. So update your spreadsheet with that information. Know your industry. Again, research is an important piece of this. So understanding what's being said about the company in the news. Maybe you're looking at reviews online, or you're asking your peers if they've heard of a particular company, if they've interned there. That's a great piece of it. Attending programs and events. This can be both on and off campus. WellCore programs are a great way to get connected in your field. Our office, along with several other departments on campus, pull together a series of WorkWell programs designed to help students understand how to be occupationally well. So how to find companies that would be a good fit for them, how to really be prepared for that job search and the next steps after graduation. You can also attend events off campus. There are professional associations that put on great networking events. They often have free or really discounted tickets for students to attend networking lunches where there's speakers and great opportunities. For example, PRSA has a local chapter. Maybe you're interested in HR, recruiting. MT SHRM, the Middle Tennessee Society for Human Resource Management, welcomes students to come to their meetings and actually allows them to introduce themselves at the lunch. There might also be recruiting events. Again, those happen both on and off campus. It could be just coffee meetups. There's an organization called Creative Mornings where they meet monthly for coffee, and it's different creatives coming together to talk. Also, joining networking organizations. So it's, you can try out these programs and events and going to the events and seeing if you like them. Actually being a member does sort of have some perks. So you might be able to access their job and internship postings. Typically, once you're a student member, you can see the member directory. And that also helps you with your spreadsheet because you're able to see, especially if it's a local company, you're able to find that contact information. And that gives you that, it's a loose tie, but the fact that you're both a member of that organization makes it a little bit easier when you actually reach out. The common misconception is that getting a job is solely based on your skill level, and that is not true. Skills must be combined with your knowledge of and connection to your industry of interest. So twofold. You want to understand your industry, and that will come across as you're going through the job search and interview process. And then you also want to be connected in your field. So those are two things that are really important as you enter your job search. Stay tuned for step 3.